Hey everyone, my name is Christy and I'm back with another video. I just wanted to give you guys some book recommendations of books I've read over the past year or two. I think some of these are from the year before that I thought were really great that might be fun for you guys to try. The readathon I'm hosting for the month of August is a total mood readathon, so you can read whatever books you want. So maybe one of these will catch your eye and you'll want to try it out. So let's get to the books. The first one is called Ties of Starlight, and it is by Celeste Baxendale, who is quickly becoming one of my favorite authors. Her characters are so complex and I just love it. But anyway, this book called Ties of Starlight came highly recommended by a couple people on BookTube, and so I was like, I gotta read it. It is a fantasy, it is about elves. It was my first official book about elves, actually. I know there's a lot of fantasy books out there, a lot of great fairy tale retelling authors also have like fantasy books that have to do with the elves, and I've been meaning to dive into that world and I just never got to it. And so anyway, I decided to try this one out. It is about a girl that is chosen to become part of this ritual that happens every 250 years when this comet comes around, and she's supposed to marry this guy. She's also half human, I believe, and so that's part of the reason why she was chosen. And it's kind of like a ceremony that just relives what happened to the original Cometa couple. And supposedly, like, when they get married and they do all these little rituals, which is really just like a replay of the events that happened. Like, they have to go to the places that this couple went to and like reenact like what happened. I don't know. And anyway, if they do these things, supposedly it strengthens their magic for the next 250 years. Well, what happens at the beginning of the story, and I believe this is on the back, so not spoilery, the groom that she's supposed to marry just like disappears. And so she's in a lot of trouble. The elves are in a lot of trouble because they will lose their magic, or their magic will be lessened and weakened for the next 250 years. So a man named Nyren decides to step in and marry her, only this guy is like her arch enemy. So it is a marriage of convenience, enemies to lovers kind of tale. And like I said before, the characters are so complex. There is so much emotion. There is so much going on in their heads. I just love it. I ate it all up. I was so captivated by this whole story. I would consider this unputdownable. I stayed up so late just wanting to find out what happened. So good. So if fantasy elves sound like you might want to give it a try, check this one out. The next book I read is a fairy tale retelling by Sarah Carlisle, and it is called Tested. And this is a new to me author, and I absolutely adored this book. So good. The character development was excellent. I felt like there was so much depth to their thoughts. I thought their thoughts were mature, and this romance progressed so well. It really felt real. And the whole premise of the story, it says it's a Princess and the Pea retelling, but it kind of feels like a mashup between that and like Beauty and the Beast, because the prince falls under this curse, which is actually really funny in a lot of ways. And this book is very humorous. There's like just really funny lines and funny things that happen along the way. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it as well. But anyway, this poor prince, his curse is that like he's like tall, dark, and handsome kind of thing, but he shrinks and he puts on all this weight. He gets like all these pimples on his face, and on top of that, he has a terrible smell that he cannot get rid of, like no matter how much perfume or whatever, how many baths he takes. He has this like terrible odor that like people just like don't want to be around him. So the only way to break his curse is a girl has to fall in love with him. And so his country decides to hold a princess test and like gather all these princesses from around the continent or wherever. And actually, I don't think they're all princesses. I think some of them are just like regular girls. Maybe they're all just regular girls. I can't remember. But it's like who is like a true princess, who's gonna like break the curse, who's gonna be able to be his princess kind of thing. And so we follow this main character, and like I said, it's just, this romance just felt very real, and I loved it because like they clearly were falling for each other based on like who they were on the inside and not looks. And it was just really, really excellent. So if you like fairy tale retellings, definitely give this one a try. Sarah Carlisle is definitely an author on my watch list. I can't wait to read the next one in the series. Another book I recently read, another fairy tale retelling. This one is by Deborah Grace White, and it came highly recommended by Lindsay from Books for Christian Girls. So I was like, okay, I have to pick this one up. And boy, was she right. I absolutely loved it. It's an East of the Sun, West of the Moon retelling. This is now my second retelling of this tale. I loved the first one I read. It's called To Ride the Wind by Melanie Cellier, who actually happens to be Deborah Grace White's sister. And so that's another one you can check out if you want to. To Ride the Wind, I loved it, but it was definitely a little on the creepy side. So if that's not your jam, this one might be. This one was just swoony altogether. It's a marriage of convenience. Basically, this girl is very undervalued by her family, by her father, and one night her father basically like gambles her hand for marriage off. He like loses her in a gambling match, and so the guy that wins, like, she marries him, and turns out he's this guy that is under a curse, and she can't even see his face. Like, he's got a hood up when she marries him. She finds out that he's got a lot of secrets, and there's things he's hiding about him, and I didn't think there was anything creepy about this one at all. Like, a lot of the things in it made sense, and this world is really fun because it's part of the Singer Tales. So all the magic in this world has to do with singing. Like, they sing a song and that makes something happen. So this world is just really beautiful, really fun, and if you like fairy tale retellings, definitely give this one a shot. Next one is a YA contemporary romance. It is called 100 Days of Sunlight by Abby Emmons. This book is so uplifting, so just positive, empowering, like a great feeling reading this book the whole way through. It just made me so happy. It's unputdownable for me. And this book is about a girl that loses her eyesight in a car accident, and she is not handling it well. She's 16 and she is a poetry blogger, and she lives with her grandparents, and her grandparents are like, okay, we need to do something. Maybe we can help her feel a little bit normal again. So they decide to put out an ad for someone to come help her start writing poetry again, start doing her poetry blogging again. And the person that answers this ad happens to be a young man named Weston, and he has no legs, and he's like, I think I'm the perfect person that would be able to help her like overcome this affliction kind of thing. And the stipulation he has with her grandparents is, just don't tell her that I don't have any legs. And he goes there and she treats him terribly, and she's just like, get out, and I don't want anything to do with this. And he loves it because for the first time in his life, he's being treated normally, like not like people just looking down on him, and he feels like everyone feels like they have to be nice to him because he lost his legs. So it feels great to him that she doesn't really know, and she just kind of acts normally. So anyway, it is a romance. It's a story about overcoming. To me, it was so fast paced. It was so great. I just loved seeing how this relationship developed. And oh, it was just such a great feeling at the end. I was just smiling the whole time when I was reading it. So if you like YA contemporary romance, definitely give this one a try. The last book I have is another fairy tale retelling. I was looking through all the books that I read this past year, and just the fairy tale retellings were just happened to be like great, you know? So I want to talk about them. Anyway, this one is called The Midnight Prince, and it's by Angie, I'm gonna butcher this last name, Grigaliunas? Yeah. And it's about a girl who is half human and half fae. So this is about the fae. And I have not read too many books about the fae, so I don't know. I find that world to be very interesting. I don't know if I really love it yet, but this book was excellent. I just loved the character development, the pacing. It was emotional. It was so gripping. And basically the premise of what happened is you have this prince that just returned from war, and he was like third in line for the throne, but his brothers were killed, so now he's number one, and he has to find a bride. You know, classic Cinderella story. And so his father starts holding like balls for him, kind of thing, to find a girl. Well, he had a girl he was gonna marry way back when, I guess about 7 or 8 years ago. But the night he was gonna propose, she just like disappeared, and like he considers it like a betrayal, and it shattered his heart. And then this girl reappears at the ball, and he's just like, what are you doing here? And they get to talking and find out that she felt like she had been betrayed, like something happened, and they start comparing the events of what happened that night, and they find out that their memories do not match. So they are trying to figure out, did somebody magically tamper with our memories? What actually happened that night? And so they're trying to navigate through, like, can I trust you? Did this really happen? Like, do we still love each other? There's a lot going on. Excellent story. I loved it. It was one of those, like, I have to know, stayed up late reading it. So good. I love Cinderella tales, and this one's definitely at the top. And Angie, whatever her last name is, Grigaliunas, is definitely another author on my watch list. So those were just some of the books I read this year that I thought were really great, excellent 5-star reads. And if you saw anything that caught your eye, let me know in the comments. And I hope you have a really great day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.